What's up, guys? This is your host, Johnny Highlander, and this is your weekly wrestling recap. Today, I'm just going to run down the top 10 wrestlers in WWE who deserve a push but aren't getting one. So, as you all know, there's a lot of very talented wrestlers in the WWE, and there's just not room for all of them at the top of the card. But eventually, we're going to have to bring some new blood up to the top of the card. So, this is my top 10 suggestions of who would be good choices to move up to the top of the card when the time is right. So we'll just get started with the list. Number 10, Curt Hawkins. Now, if you remember back when Edge had two guys who worked with him called the Edgeheads, then you'll remember that Curt Hawkins wasn't always on this continuous losing streak that he's been on. The fact is, Curt Hawkins is a decent wrestler on his own, and he's a very charismatic individual. The idea that he can't win a match is very sad. But at the same time, I do think WWE has been successful in generating some sympathy for Curt Hawkins, and I think I'm not the only one who would like to see Curt Hawkins start winning some matches. I was able to see Curt Hawkins at a WWE live event here in Lincoln, Nebraska not too long ago, and he came very close to winning his match, and I was among a few members of the crowd who were loudly chanting, "Let's go Hawkins," because I wanted Curt to win. I wanted to be there when his losing streak ended, but it wasn't to be, and now his losing streak is up to like 219 or something. But I think that if WWE could turn the tide, have him win a match, then Curt Hawkins could really generate some momentum, and before long, maybe we could see him at the top of the card. So that's number 10, Curt Hawkins. Number 9, Drew Gulak. Now, watching 205 Live, you may get the wrong impression of Drew Gulak and think that he's just some annoying stiff who doesn't want people to ever do flips or cool moves off the top turnbuckle, but that's not the case. All right, that's just a character, obviously, that Drew Gulak is playing. Drew Gulak is actually a very good wrestler, and if he's allowed to do what his normal moveset is, instead of being pigeonholed into a certain type of character, then he can be much more exciting as a wrestler. Drew Gulak is 6 feet tall, so he has the height requirement there for the WWE, and furthermore, he is a phenomenal wrestler. If we could just put some serious momentum behind Drew Gulak and really build him up, it would be easy for Drew Gulak to find a position at the top of the card, maybe in the Intercontinental title picture, or maybe even in the WWE title picture, as long as we could get the right booking for Drew Gulak. So that's number 9, Drew Gulak. Number 8, Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder is a great example of a WWE superstar who's been able to generate organic support, grassroots support from the ground up. He did this via his YouTube series, Z True Long Island Story. And before long, the crowd was chanting, "We want Ryder. Let's go Ryder." So in response to that, the WWE did give him a U.S. title run. But of course, that was quickly snatched away, and then later he was given a very heartwarming Intercontinental Championship victory. But I guess the story is that that championship was supposed to go to Neville. Neville got injured, so Ryder was just put into that position. Now, instead of giving Ryder these stop-start pushes, let's give Ryder a real push, and let's really build him up. Zack Ryder, just like Curt Hawkins, former Edgehead, is a good wrestler in his own right, and he's very charismatic. The problem is WWE only wants the guys they want to get over with the fans. They don't want guys who get over with the fans on their own. But if WWE could change their mindset and take advantage of the support that Ryder already has, even though it's sort of dwindled, they could maybe give Ryder the Money in the Bank contract and then have Ryder come and cash in the Money in the Bank contract at some surprising time. And I think the pop that would be generated by Ryder cashing in and winning the WWE Championship would be electrifying. People would be very happy to see Ryder win the WWE Championship. So that's number 8, Zack Ryder. Now, number 7, Bobby Roode. Now, Bobby Roode has a great entrance. Bobby Roode was a great NXT champion. But since he's come up to the main roster, he's had a lackluster U.S. title run, and that's it. I'm glad to see him now put into a team with Chad Gable, because Chad Gable is a phenomenal wrestler. But I would like to see even more from Bobby Roode. Back in the TNA days, Bobby Roode was a fixture in the World Championship scene. So Bobby Roode, if you put him in the World Championship, he could totally hang. He could hang with any of the guys in there. I remember at Survivor Series last year when him and Triple H were dueling chants. He was doing the glorious thing. Triple H was doing the suck it thing. And it was split about 50-50. The crowd was split about 50-50. So it would be great to see Bobby Roode moved up the card and put into the WWE Championship scene. So that's number 7, Bobby Roode. Number 6, Big E. Now, Big E has experienced plenty of success with the New Day. I think he's a five-time tag team championship holder. But Big E was one of the first NXT champions. I think he was the second NXT champion. I think he won the championship from Seth Rollins and became the second NXT champion. So why can't we move Big E up into the championship picture? Like, several of the previous NXT champions have won the Universal Championship. Kevin Owens, Finn Balor, Seth Rollins. So all these people who have been previous NXT champions have gone on to win the Universal Championship. So why can't we move Big E up into the ranks of his fellow NXT champions and have Big E get a run with the Universal Championship? Big E is a great wrestler, so I think he could very well hold his own. And putting the New Day with him, backing him up with the New Day, would really give him an edge over other wrestlers. If anyone tried to like double team him or pull a numbers advantage on him, he could always call on Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods to back him up. And maybe we could do a storyline where Big E held the Universal Championship and Kofi and Xavier Woods held the Tag Team Championships, making them, the New Day, just look like an extremely dominant faction. I just think that would be a great story to see. So number 6, Big E. Now, number 5, EC3. Now, since EC3 has been joined the WWE, he hasn't really had much of note going on. I think he had a match with maybe Velveteen Dream or Ricochet, but he hasn't been given any championship runs. So I think it's disappointing to see the way WWE has thus far treated EC3. But I think there's a lot of hope for EC3. Back in the TNA days, obviously EC3 was, like Bobby Roode, a fixture in the championship scene. So if you brought EC3 up to the championship scene, perhaps put him in a feud with AJ Styles or someone like that, I think we could just see some fantastic matches between EC3 and AJ Styles, and it would be great to see EC3. It would be great to see EC3 win the WWE Championship. So that's number 5, EC3. Now, number 4, Kevin Owens. Now, yes, Kevin Owens has been Universal Champion. Yes, Kevin Owens has been United States Champion. And I'm pretty sure Kevin Owens has even had a run with the Tag Team Championships. But lately, he has been treated like a joke. Kevin Owens, literally one of the best wrestlers on the planet, right up there with the likes of Kazuchika Okada and Kenny Omega, has just been treated as a joke wrestler recently. Being put in the porta potty by Braun Strowman and pushed off the stage, being hurled off the Hell in a Cell by Braun Strowman. It's just really not been good for Kevin Owens recently, and I think we should bring Kevin Owens back as the prize fighter character, really hype up the Fight Owens Fight slogan, fight anyone, maybe even bring back his package pile driver as a finishing maneuver. I don't see that as very likely, but it would be great to see Kevin Owens treated more seriously and brought up into the championship picture again. And it would be great to have him be the first two-time Universal Champion. So that's number 4, Kevin Owens. Now, number 3, Rusev. Now, Rusev had a great run with the U.S. Championship that culminated there at WrestleMania in his match with John Cena. But with the support that Rusev has from the WWE fans, it's ridiculous that they haven't put him into the championship picture. And I know that he did have a feud with AJ Styles, and that was because of his merch sales and because of the Rusev Day chants that have been getting extremely over with the fans. But I don't think that push was very serious. I don't think they really had much behind that. And I think they should put a real effort into a storyline for Rusev, build him up into a credible threat for AJ Styles, and have him win the championship from AJ Styles. So that's number 3, Rusev. Now, number 2, wrestlers who deserve a major push, Carl Anderson. Now, Carl Anderson is a former leader of the Bullet Club. As far as other former leaders of the Bullet Club go, we have Finn Balor, former Universal Champion, AJ Styles, current WWE Champion. So how come we don't see more of a push for Carl Anderson? I recently went back and watched a fantastic match between Carl Anderson and Shinsuke Nakamura, and I was not sure who was going to win that match, and it turned out that Carl Anderson pulled out the win over Shinsuke Nakamura at the end. Anderson really isolated the leg of Shinsuke Nakamura, the leg that he uses to do the Kinshasa or the Bomaye. So when it came time for Shinsuke Nakamura to hit the Kinshasa to end the match, his leg buckled underneath him, and Carl Anderson was able to get the win. So seeing this match is a great example of the potential that Carl Anderson has, but WWE doesn't seem to want to recognize that potential. So, number 2, Carl Anderson. And the number 1 wrestler who deserves a major push from the WWE, Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas, only the 3rd NXT champion, and since he's been on the main roster, he has been pretty much treated as a joke. However, Bo Dallas is an amazing wrestler, and if he could be put into a serious feud, something that was legitimate, then I just think Bo Dallas could really carry the I don't know. Sorry about that, guys. I think that Bo Dallas could